Greetings from the Erie Coast. This is Mad Shad and Charity. This is our walk. This is usually the tempo of the walk, which will change abruptly here in a second. But imagine and understand that her nose is like 250,000 times, 500,000 times more sensitive than ours. She's smelling the past, the present, and some would argue the future. So how would you walk? You had to stop and smell everything. Here we go, down the hill. Dun, 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 dun. Brisk pace, right. And yes, folks, welcome to another episode of The Creek Still Flows. Lead the way, Charity. It's a beautiful day here in Northeast Ohio. Cleveland suburban jungle. It's still very much a wild place. Don't let anybody fool you. As civilized as we think we are, the world is still wild, alive and vibrant, constantly changing, ever moving. Yet, we all experience a serenity. Why? When everything about the world is a violent place. Yourselves are born out of violence. What did it make to take these rocks? What did it take to make these rocks? Think about that. It was a very violent course of action, chain of events that led to their creation. And throughout their existence, they're subjugated to more violence. More long-term, but erosion. Water. Falling. Getting thrown. Getting broken up. Violence is impartial. Called violence, change. It's definitely violence. Is that better? Sorry, folks. I might have a few droplets on my lens. Violence happens. Violent things happen. It's how the universe is governed. Violent things happening. Tectonic plate shifts. Asteroids. Volcanic eruptions. Tsunamis. Which helped to create everything here. And to create this sense of serenity that we feel. This solitude. That feels that it never changes. It's caught in the moment of no concept of time. Come on, Charity. Jump the log. Can you do it? You can't do it? Wow. Okay, come here. Come here. Come here. This way. This way. Come here. Come here. This way. Yeah. You can cross that one. There you go. Very violent. Very violent existence throughout the universe. Chaotic. How you doing? Okay, go. Good girl. Well, I guess the walk's over. It is confirmed that the creek still flows. Very nice. Thank you, Charity. But she's had enough. We just got here too. These rocks. Process. Oh, there's more violence. A life form attaching itself to the rock, burrowing into its surface. This boulder is beautiful. So much violence in it. More violence to come. But a rock, a boulder, weathers it well. Trees, not so much. They grow old, they become weak, and they die. Fall onto the floor of the forest, either in bits and pieces or all at once. Usually bits and pieces. Well, all at once does happen. Even early on. The rock, the boulder, as a singular thing. It is able to weather the violence. Violence is all around us. The evidence of ever so present violence. Is it really violence? What do they call it violence? What we do to each other, what animals do to each other, what insects do to each other, we all call that violence. It's not a violent event. It's done intentionally. You know, we believe that it's intentional what we do, the violence. You gotta kill to eat, you gotta fight to survive. You have to fight for wars. Lots of fighting, lots of violence going on, but it's a purposeful event. It's a conscious decision. I gotta do violence. We've learned over time in a very violent world that you either become more violent or smarter with your violence. Where's this solitude? That gives off the aura of non-violence, peace. We can't be violent all the time. A volatile state. We can't be in a constant volatile state. There's a timeline. There is indeed a timeline for all things. We all know the cycle. Something is born, something is made, and a shape. It's a very chaotic time. It's like the cooking process, right? Then throughout the course of the lives or existence of things, we grow, we get strong, we get sick, we break things, we get old and weak, and then we die. But it's not the end. Dying is not the end. Then we decompose, then we break down. We're fed upon by all living things, even everything. Then we're susceptible to water erosion, wind and rain, complex chemical processes that break things down even more, break us down into basic, simple ingredients, which are then used in the creation of new things. It's crazy how this is a self-correcting system. All right. Enjoy the process. All right, I don't know what's going on here. It's traffic. We're in the middle of a caravan going to Mecca. Bumping that. Oh, there it is. You're getting Arabic. Arabic with the gangsta. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to be loud. And then comes a time when we're not. Charity, stay. Stay. Traffic. Gotta love traffic. Very chaotic thing, right? Very chaotic thing. Come on. Movement throughout the space is a very violent, chaotic thing. You're disturbing so much. Things are getting crushed and destroyed every step you take. Change, cause and effect. That's That's what we call it. Right? It's a cause and effect. It's a very violent thing. Violence. So that's what I find myself reflecting on. Everything is violence. To make this was a very violent process. To make concrete, to make buildings, to make roads, to make things that we use every day. Could you survive being melted down and pounded into shapes? Being heated up to extreme temperatures, then cooled off really, really quickly? The very shape, the very essence of your ingredients crushed down and mixed together to create some other new shape. We couldn't survive that, but we're creating things. It's a creation process. Destruction, creation. Self-correcting system. Everything has this cycle. Creation. We are a part of that cycle. Everything is a part of that cycle. Everything. There's nothing immortal except for the process. Creation, destruction. Creation, destruction. Constantly. Of all things. All things we've made. All things that we've destroyed to make. All the rest is well, it's relevant to us. Some destruction there, some violence. Mechanics make their living off of destructive potholes like this. The wind and the rain and the constant pounding and breaking of the surface leads to that, which in turn leads to wear and tear of our made vehicles out of destruction and creation. Right? Let's go. Let's go. They make a living off us breaking things by hitting potholes. Yeah. I know it's not your usual reflection, but I mean it's the deepest one I can get to. And before you even talk about God, that's already included in there. What I'm stating is a fact in the world that we know it, all in existence. What are the two most powerful gods in all the pantheon? That's all the disciplines. Yeah, Charity. The philosophies. All of them. The most powerful forces are destruction and creation. Destruction and creation. See if I can do this. There we go. Now I gotta feed Charity a little bit of destruction. Pig ear. I'm going to destroy even more. All life is precious, sure. But without the process of destruction and creation. Nothing would survive. Nothing would exist. Let's contemplate that as I take my leave. Enjoy, Cherry. We are just in between somewhere between destruction and creation. And then, of course, we add to the destruction and we add to the creation. So that is the cycle of everything. Destruction, brief period, creation, brief period, destruction, brief period, creation. All things. So therein lies God. As we try to put a face on it, try to put a form to it. Some things are formless. We're stuck in the middle. With our limited capacity to comprehend and perceive, that's how our fragile little minds can figure it out. Oh, wow. Yet we go crazy. Our imagination gets into play. Well, I imagine it's gods. I imagine it's aliens. I imagine it doesn't matter what you imagine, what you think it might be. It might be true, it might be right. This is my conclusion, is that as random as everything seems, it is purposeful. Everything is purposeful. Just as we are purposeful about fixing things, making things, breaking things, destroying things, as a small, insignificant life form in this universe, in this existence, this plane of existence, so is everything else around us being subjugated to the same thing. Now we're also thinking about hierarchies, don't we? That's where our imaginations take us. That's part of the hierarchy of things. So we imagine that there's one guy on top of the mountain. He's on top of the world. He's on top of Zeus. He's the CEO. The one in charge of everything. That's what we imagine. That's how we categorized. That's what we built upon. We're always trying to categorize everything. This is greater than, lesser than.
This is in this box, this is in this box, and this is in this box. And inside that little box is another series of little boxes. All that's in one really big box. Okay. We like boxes, we like hierarchies, chain of commands, authority over, authority under. So there's your answer right there. There's God. But it's more than just God. It's everything. And how naive are we to think that God is the ultimate? Maybe he too is susceptible to destruction and creation by somebody else, as we think of a personification of somebody in charge, some force in charge. We give it a face, we give it a form. Whatever this is, it's being created and destroyed constantly. We reinvent ourselves every day. Billions of dead cells fall off of us, pee it out of us, shit it out of us, spit out of us, sweat it out, bleed out. Billions. Constantly. That process, the cause and effect, is constantly going on. Creation, destruction, creation, destruction, creation, destruction. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Even scientists said it's got to be some kind of Big Bang theory. At first there was nothing, and then boom, there's everything. Something from nothing. Yet we've been unable to recreate that. As scientific as we are, as highly technologically advanced, and as much as we think we are, we still can't do it. Well, yeah, you can grow plants, you can make babies, but you're just taking advantage of the system. The system is creation, destruction, destruction, creation. That is the system we're all in. Everything is in. All things have a finite amount of time and form. So to me, that goes beyond God. Concept of gods. Gods or goddesses or gods or whatever. Is there a source? Or are we part of the source? Everything is source, right? What is source? The beginning? But the system just keeps going. That's the source. Keeps growing, building, and creating. But then you'd also think, well, come to the realization that where did all this material for the process come from? What? Yeah, that's where the scientists are like, well, there was nothing, and then there's everything. Even religion. There was nothing, and then someone created everything. then the question arises, how old? How long ago did this process begin? Where someone or something in a void of nothing, which is an oxymoron because there's something there. Something is there. Which means it is no longer nothing, it is something. When did that start? When did this vast void of nothingness decide? It's boring here. Let's do something. Action. Maybe it was the void. The original nothing. I mean, even if you get crazy with it and say, okay, what about multiverses? Well, that's part of it. What created those? Are they just created in their own little section, their own little area, their own little plane of existence? Is there multiple planes of existence? I mean, as we try to categorize it, put it in a box, put boxes in series of boxes, name everything, number everything. That's how we have to understand it. Go back to it and reference it. Or if we don't like it, we can just take the box out of the boxes. And now we've gone to something else. Changed everything. Changed our understanding of everything and changed everybody else's understanding of everything. And then we're destroyed. And we forget. But it's always creation, destruction, violence. Violence of action is constantly going on. How do we find peace and serenity? Ever chaotic plane of existence. How is that ever possible? We've tried many, many times to figure that out and actually get back to that. The void, the nothingness, the formless, the non-existent. How can you be non-existent if you're in a non-existent state? You're able to go back and forth between states. Buddha came in, Hinduism came in, Buddhism, Hinduism. They asked that question. They come up with this explanation. Religions are explanations of this this phenomenon, this cause and effect. And throughout the course of our existence, our constant destruction, creation, you know, forefathers bearing sons and daughters, so forth and so on, generations upon generations. It's called. In Buddhism, enlightenment is defined as nirvana. They call it nirvana. Is defined as a state of nothingness. You've achieved nothingness. Is that the consciousness being shedding away its physical form? Sorry, I got some bats in the bat cave here. Please excuse me for being uncouth. Let's go. It's a very violent thing with solitude. And we all know that if we meditate or if we relax, recover, recuperate, put ourselves in a state of non-action, non-movement, sedimentary, gotta sleep, then we heal. That's what the induced coma is. That's why you get a bed in a hospital, you get pumped full of drugs that put your ass to sleep. Because in a non-moving state, you start to heal, and revive, and recuperate. Creation is allowed. Creation takes place. Your muscles rebuild, your organ tissue, everything starts healing and growing back together in a very relaxed state. I mean, that's just our phenomenon. That's most living things' phenomenon. Let's go. We have the innate ability to create. Will it be as good as the original? No, but everything changes. And that's the microcosm that trickles down into everything and becomes a macrocosm, microcosm. All things, everything experiences this phenomenon of destruction, creation, creation, destruction. In every aspect, your thoughts, the creation of a thought. Oh, I forgot what I was thinking about. Now there's destruction. Even it just gets worse with age, right? Yeah. You have dementia, Alzheimer's. Your mind just forgets. It's all irrelevant now. What you've learned, what you've perceived in your lifetime between creation and destruction. Or is it? It's created. What do scientists say? That matter and energy cannot neither be created or destroyed. It's just there. It just changes form. Vapor water turns to condensates and turns into liquid matter, water, and freezes, turns to ice, and is heated up and turns into vapor, and it condenses and turns into a liquid. All things go through this process. And it's just creation, destruction, creation, destruction, creation, destruction. Everything gets recycled. So that's why everybody asked the question, is this all the matter in the universe? Is things being created still and growing, and will we eventually run out of room because all things will grow back into the singular? be everything will be smashed together like a black hole condensing everything into one finite point, one mass. Everything gets broken down. Something the size of a sweet pea weighs 800,000 Earths. Like, wow, that's dense. I mean, can we conceive that concept? Some people do. Through all matter of destruction, through the black hole, something else is created. It's like matter is turned into energy. Light can't even escape. And it gets shot out somewhere. Dispersed. Like a wood chipper. Black hole, the black hole. The wood chipper of the universe. Making mulch for everything. Plowing through everything. And in its wake, things are just spinning around, waiting its turn to go into the wood chipper. So why are we so naive that, you know, even just the concept of gods and things of that nature? Why? How naive of me to think that gods cannot be created or destroyed. How many gods are there? There's a lot. Oh, but no, everybody's going to say one. There's only one. Is there? I don't know. How do you know? Oh, because God told me. Oh. Yeah. About that. Everybody says that. Everybody says that. And it just has a possibility, you know, that the one that created this earth, created this life, created our life forms, whatever, was a god. And he's since passed on. You know, look at the fruits of my labor. Okay. Time for me to go in a coma. Time for me to die. And what, do dead gods turn into new gods? I don't know. Or is God right here? In everyone, in everything, a concept that totally is on the other end of the spectrum. There's not one singularity God. Everything is God. So everything that we're seeing and we're perceiving and imagining is God. Even the process of such is proof of God. Is proof of something's going on. I mean, in a phenomenon of nothing, a plane in existence of nothing, which is an oxymoron in itself, that things would start doing things. Something would happen. There's form, there's shape. What? What happened? But nothing is nothing, so nothing doesn't contemplate that. But then nothing becomes something. We have a universe. We already know that the universe is comprised of a lot of somethings. A lot of somethings. It's a very violent, chaotic place. Our sun. It's just all our perception and our point on the timeline between creation and destruction. I think as closer we get to destruction, we start to realize what happened in creation. Maybe that's the great ultimate secret revealed when we die. When all things, but it's not death. It's a recycling. It's a recycling process. Now, do I believe that consciousness survives? Yeah, I do. I have some proof. We all do. But then that consciousness, you don't hear from that consciousness again. Or that consciousness moves on to bigger and better things. You know, there's once again, our imagination. You know, they went to heaven, they went to hell, they reincarnated, or they went to purgatory. They're in limbo somewhere. I don't know. Standing in the waiting line. Next. I think the more that we're obsessed with this timeline, and why we can't understand how everything just don't make sense, is that we fail to realize there is no timeline. Creation, destruction, it just keeps going. And who knows if it started from nothing or it's always been there. That's something to contemplate in itself. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? And where in the hell did the chicken come from? There was nothing. All of a sudden there's a chicken. Lays an egg. There's more chicken. It's creation, destruction. The answer to everything. It really is the answer to everything. What is the meaning of life? It doesn't have to have meaning. It just is. Creation, destruction. What is the meaning of that? There's no meaning. It is a ongoing process. Until, of course, that time comes when there's nothing. But then we won't be there to realize it or contemplate it because we will be nothing. So we do this in between the timelines of discrete creation and destruction. The ever constant cycle. Maybe we're remembered. Always hope for a good reputation. Nice words, accolades, achievements and awards that we've done throughout the course of our lives. Spoken aloud at our death. Told as stories to the youngins. Passed down the generations to the generations. Maybe it's written down. Maybe it's captured in video form now in the archives of the interwebs, which of course goes out into space. Of course, I mean it's a frequency, so it's just out there floating around. Who the hell is this Mad Shad guy? Wow, that was about 2 billion years ago. Place they used to call Earth. It's no longer there anymore. Got swallowed up by the sun, and the sun went supernova. Boom! And then turned into a black hole, and then petaled out, and that's it. Yeah, that's what's going to happen to us eventually. I hear his relatives. They live on Alpha Centauri in the Andromeda galaxy, which took over the Milky Way galaxy. So it's the Milky Andromeda. Oh, wow. 2 billion years ago. Wow. Anybody from 2 billion years ago? We try, don't we? We try to keep records. Carved in stone, written on papyruses, stamped out into clay tablets, written on paper, compiled in books, thrown into libraries, put on hard drives. Even those systems are susceptible to destruction. I think it's funny when you look at history. You look at the great libraries that have burnt down for some strange reason. They had, all kinds of history in it from thousands of years before their time. What? Really? Yeah. Was it the Library of Egypt, the Library of Solomon? All these places of wisdom and knowledge written down, or stored, rewritten, curated. Oh, this book is falling apart. Oh, yeah, it's about a 900-year-old book. Yeah, it's made out of this material. It's gonna be destroyed. So yeah, good thing that we wrote it all down. Yeah, but we wrote it down 800 years ago, so got 100 years to write it again. Oh, okay. Yeah, should we do that now? No, we're gonna wait till 99 years, and then we'll write it down. Hope that nothing happens, like a fire, water damage, a roof leak. How many civilizations, how many other planets have existed, kept records, tried in vain to be heard throughout the existence of time? Hi, we were here. Lots, millions. It has to be countless. And then time itself is so vast, broad, billions of years, trillions of years, millions of years, and everything. So we have vast stretches of time and vast stretches of distance, all of which are created and destroyed. A violent, chaotic thing. Violence. It's what happens. It is the cause and effect of violence. So that was the idea of Buddhism, is that you got to get out of that cause and effect, that cycle of cause and effect, by being nothing. And then you will not be burdened with the guilt of creation destruction. Well, it feels good to create, but to create something, you have to destroy something. It's the process. How do you get paint? How do you get paper? How do you get pencils and pens? So there's a destructive process. And you could do all that and create something, and yet it gets destroyed anyway. To be created in something else. All my writings, all my drawings, they're going to make their way into a landfill one day. Maybe soon after my death. Soon after my destruction. And they in turn will, maybe somebody will grab onto something and go, wow, this guy, that was pretty neat. Maybe I'll be remembered in that aspect. But most of my shit's going in the trash can. Going in a hole in the ground to rot. Fester. Let's see what we got here. I don't know what happened. Lost it. Oh. Oh, it didn't. I didn't hit record. Wow. So you ask me, is that it? That's everything. Welcome to the explanation of everything. Congratulations, now you know. Yeah, cheers. Hey, I can do this. We're not live. Still trying to figure out how to take these videos and throw them on a live somewhere. Maybe one day I'll learn about this creation concept. Oh, look at that. Rah. Gotcha, girl. Yeah. It's a emotionalist kind of way of looking at things. Ah, yes. Enjoy, Cherry. When you take the emotion out, when you take the human elements, the human constructive imagination out, and look at it in that aspect, it's very simple. It makes sense. So carry on. Do your thing. Have a good reputation. Have a good existence. Do good things. Make life better for yourself and others. That's creation. The bonds that we make, the good that we do, all contributes to this. The fight and the defense, the violence that is needed to keep that life. Maybe that's the answer. We're just trying to make life during our finite time on this plane of existence as good as we can until our destruction. So yeah, an interesting Sunday reflections. Creation, destruction. Everything else in between is irrelevant. Or is it? Is that the thing? It's constant existence. Constant cause and effect. Constant movement. It's a violent cycle. And it has to continue. So we make life as good as we can. We destroy what offends us. And then we are in turn destroyed. Hey, Charity. So enjoy the ride. Enjoy it. Enjoy the chaotic. Enjoy the violence. Enjoy the peace and serenity while you can. That's it. That's all. For us as humans, that's all we got. Most sentient life forms. Enjoy it while you can. Everything we know will be lost, destroyed, taken away. Everything.
I mean, who knows? I lost a class ring. My mom paid $238 for that thing. Cool class ring. I lost it in storage. It was beautiful. My mom loved it. I loved it. Then I lost it. So whatever happened to it? It's got my name on it. Yeah. It's got the year I graduated. It's got my birthstone in it. It's got a little football thing in there. That's who I was. Like, oh, okay, look at that, Shad. All right. 97, 98. Class of 97, whatever. Yeah. Oh, football guy. Oh, okay. Played football as a kid. High school. All right. Name was Shad. Yeah. Why would somebody wear that? Maybe it was pawned at a jewelry store. He can't sell it. What's he going to do with it? Hope that somebody named Shad that graduated in that year, played football, comes along and says, oh, hey, I'll buy that. He'll never sell it. He'll never sell it. Never sell it. Right? Never sell it. So what does he do? He melts it down. Melts it down, destroys it, turns it into something else, or a lot of other something else's. Maybe he makes a necklace out of it. Maybe he makes a whole bunch of little rings out of it. So now something that was so personalized and created for my purpose, my mom's purpose really, given a specific personalized shape and form, it's now been melted down and is an engagement ring, or it made 3 or 4 engagement rings. I don't know. Maybe it was used as scrap to fix countless other pieces of jewelry
melted it down, made little clasp or something, or links, or there's pieces of that ring everywhere. I still hear about it to this day from my mom. It's like one of those unforgivable things. Something she will never forget on her deathbed. She's like, you should have never lost that ring. Skull to the class ring. That is the microcosm of the macrocosm. So there you go. Existence as we know it was created and is constantly being destroyed and created, destroyed, created, destroyed, created, changing shape and form constantly. And we don't know if it will ever be stopped. Never know, and we'll never know. Because we'll be gone. We won't be sitting here thinking. I'm not going to be having a front row seat going, here's destruction of everything. Maybe it happens. That'd be a hell of a ride. Wow, front row seats. Destruction of everything. So yeah, folks, I leave you with that. That's where we are. Nothing I said is untrue. There has been some... We can all add our own imagination, imaginative explanation, our extrapolation of an incomplete data, coming to some type of conclusion. But in the end, there's no end. There's no beginning. We can't even remember when the beginning was, nor will we ever see the end. Wow. So, even as societies created, crumble, taken over, subverted, changed, evolved, invaded, destroyed, extinct. There'll be another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And it won't just be our species either. Nor are we the only planet in this universe. We like to assign value to everything. It's part of that hierarchy. This is more valuable than this. Do you like gold and silver? Yeah. Do you like paper fiat currency? Yeah. Do you like CBDC? It will be destroyed. It will be discarded, created. Something else to take its place. Will you be able to prep? Will you be able to prepare for the times to come? I mean, that's all we do anyway. That's all we can do. Amass enough supplies, skills to be able to weather the storm, weather the cause and effect. To be fluent in cause and effect. I know if something happens, I've got a plan, and I have supplies, or I have skills. I'm just going to run out into the woods. Or, oh no, the grid went down. Well, time to roll up my sleeves and get in there and fix things. Where's my wrench? That's the big picture for me. Bigger than anything. It is everything. Everything. The concept of everything. Everything is everything. We are made up of stardust. Ground up civilizations from trillions of years ago. Are part of the genetic makeup and cells and building blocks of your body. Skull. A violent, chaotic event that happened trillions of years ago, billions of years ago, in some society, on some planet somewhere, billions of light years away, is inside you. I mean, do I have proof of that? No, but if everything is everything, that is a quite plausible feat. And we can say with certainty, that's what's going to happen to us. We are eventually going to be destroyed and spread out throughout the whole universe to be used in recreation of life and matter, whatever. We will be the building blocks of another alien society, another group of sentient beings going, wow. We already have our forefathers in us. Forefathers of forefathers. Other forefathers inside of us. In our walls. Coffee cup. In my beard. Everything. Everything is everything. Imagine putting everything into a blender and turning that blender on for about 1 billion years, say. What would you get? That is creation destruction. Everything goes in the blender. Whether you make a cake batter mix out of it or drink it as a smoothie, whatever. So yeah. Anyway, I was hoping this would be a long Creek Still Flows, but I might do this as a type of Sunday reflections. So that's what it was kind of meant for. Anyway, this is the end. This has been Mad Shad. Sunday reflections. Have a good night.